Today is Monday, the 20th of July. We are in the midst of many fast moving events that affect our life, that affect the world in which we live, that will soon affect the price that we pay at the pump. And we are here to provide you information that you will not see in the legacy media, you will not see in the corporate media, you will not see in most of the independent media. We have privileged sources that bring us this information, and we are happy to bring it to you. We have extraordinarily experienced commentators, such as the gentleman who is with me right now, who is a founding member of our show, Derry Johnson. I will soon turn over the mic to him, who will take it from me and will provide you the latest update from events that are that are shaping the world in which we live. Kindly subscribe if you have not already done so. Kindly hit the like button, and please, if you want a privileged set of information to be delivered to you every week in your mailbox, be a paid member. Very small fee of $5, less than half what you pay for the cup of coffee. So, with that introduction, Larry, please take it over.
Well, and I just point out they can also just pay $50 a year. It saves them a little bit of money, $10. But you can subscribe for a year at 50 or month to month at $5 a month.
Yes.
Your choice. Yeah. So the bottom line today is we're going to find out whether how reliable is Pakistan's guarantee to come to the defense of Saudi Arabia, because you've had two incidents. One, the Ansar Allah, the Houthis, announced they are closing the Red Sea to Saudi. They've imposed a blockade on Saudi ships, and that is primarily to blockade oil coming out of Yanbu, which is right now Saudi Arabia's only outlet to get oil. And so far, the Houthis haven't indicated whether or not they will use ballistic missile against ships that will try to ignore their blockade. But based on past experience, the Houthis are very likely to do that. That's number one. Number two, a Saudi oil tanker tried to traverse the Omani Strait, again, in violating Iran's protocols that have laid it out. This was a deliberate provocation by the Saudis, and Iran made them pay the price. They've hit that ship; it's on fire, maybe sinking. So now Saudis could make a case and go to Pakistan and say, "Hey, we've been attacked, so you need to come to our defense," which would then put Pakistan in the uncomfortable position of having to separate itself from Iran, or tell the Saudis, cool your jets, we're not doing that, and try to keep the peace process alive. Now, we do know that there is an Iranian delegation headed up by Foreign Minister Arakchi in Islamabad today. What the substance of that conversation is, we don't know. But the one thing we do know is Iran's position has hardened over the last 10 days. The renewed U.S. attacks on Iran started a week ago Saturday. And so if you go back, today's the 20th, Sunday was the 19th, 18th. So basically the 11th of July was when these attacks started in earnest. And it was in response to each attack, Iran increased its response. We're now at a stage where, interestingly enough, the Iran has effectively forced the United States to withdraw its military, air assets, and ground forces from the bases that it previously occupied. There were two primary bases in Kuwait. The Ali Salman Air Base, and then Camp Bushir, I think it was, a ground base from which ground to ground missiles were launched using the HIMARS system. Also in Bahrain, you had the Sheikh Al Isa airfield and the Fifth Fleet headquarters. So there's a total of 4 bases. You have Al Udeid in Qatar, there's 5. Al Dhafra in United Arab Emirates, plus there is another base further out on the coast. So that could bring you up to 7. And then the Duqm base in the Oman that's used to refuel, refit aircraft carriers and destroyers. And moving beyond the Gulf, then we have the 2 key bases that are in Jordan, the Muwaffaq Salti Air Base and the Prince Hassan Air Base. Those have been struck with particular devastation over the last week. And the attack at Muwaffaq Salti reportedly killed at least 3 Americans. There are 2 confirmed dead. One is listed as missing, but what they've recovered are body parts. They're not sure what belongs to whom. Very grotesque, horrific image. And then we're also told that there are 3 to 5 of the wounded soldiers or airmen that were put on the C-17 to be flown to Landstuhl, Germany, to the medical center there, that they were 3 to 5 were not expected to survive the flight from Jordan to Germany. We have had no update on that since. What we do know is that the United States is trying to reposition its aircraft, trying to get its aircraft into more secure locations, trying to move those aircraft into Israel, which is going to raise the threat for Israel. And against that backdrop, we've got the Israeli National Security Council and Cabinet is meeting right now as we are recording this, trying to figure out what they're going to do with respect to Iran. Iran has now a very accurate ballistic missile system, in part because they're relying on the Chinese Beidou system, the satellite system, to target and ensure that they hit what they're supposed to be aiming at. They learned the hard way a year ago, June, that relied on GPS, gave the United States and Israel a way to hack the system so that the missiles were not actually as accurate as the Iranians had hoped. What we are seeing take place is a complete decimation of the Western air defense systems. PAC-3s and THAADs are basically exhausted. David's Sling and Iron Dome don't work against the Iranian ballistic missiles. They barely work against some of the drones. So Iran is in a very strong position right now to continue pressing an offensive designed first and foremost to drive the United States out of the Persian Gulf, that to make it too costly, too dangerous for the United States to try to bring troops and or equipment back into the region. So while there is reportedly pressure coming from Washington, D.C., with Donald Trump begging the Pakistanis to intervene with Iran and get Iran back to the table. The reality is Iran's not coming back to the table without significant concessions from Donald Trump that would require the United States up front to unfreeze frozen assets now, not sometime in the future. That the blockade and sanctions on all the oil are again lifted, but in addition to that, additional sanctions are lifted that the United States has imposed. Again, demand is a sign of good faith on the part of the U.S. Excuse me. In addition to that, the pressure to get the Israelis out of southern Lebanon, Iran has not backed off of that. I don't see Donald Trump at this point being willing to make those types of concessions. If anything, he's doubling down on his threats and threatening more violence, threatening to open and unleash the gates of hell on Iran. And Iran is prepared for that. As we're speaking, Iran has already just launched ballistic missiles from Tabriz, Iran, that are headed towards Jordan. And the sirens are already going off in Amman. Uh, they're all, Iran's also attacking the Erbil airfield in Iraq's Kurdistan because the Kurds, working with the CIA, have been planning or trying to assemble an attacking force that would go into Iran. And Iran's not waiting to be attacked. They're taking preemptive action right now. So, uh, this week, we're likely to see a continued increase in these exchanges between the United States and Iran. The difference being Iran has the ability to sustain and prolong this conflict. The United States does not.
Well, Larry, I could not have said that better in the few words that he used to describe a very complex situation. And just before we started recording, I shared with you privileged information about what came to us from sources very close to the Supreme Leader, who has recently started consolidating his power. And for our audience, I would like to just simply share that the mood inside that office is not one of conciliation at all. In fact, it is one of determination, very resolute, and exact words are uh, the people who are winning do not seek to end the conflict. Those are the exact words. So with that mood, and I do want to correct something that you just said before somebody else does. There was a visit earlier to Islamabad a couple of days ago only, led by Foreign Minister Arakchi, who consulted with Pakistani leadership. I understand the visit went very well. And today, as we speak, a new delegation has arrived in Islamabad, and interestingly enough, I'm told that it is carrying uh, a personal message from Leader Mushtaba to Pakistani leadership. And this is a delegation led by somebody very actually quite influential in Iran, the head of what is called the Ministry of Interior. The Ministry of Interior in Iran is like the internal security force. So, a very powerful guy, a 20% delegation in Islamabad as we speak, and they will be having consultations with Pakistani leadership in few hours. And we will bring to you anything and everything that happens with those consultations and what that special message is from Leader Mushtaba, because that is supposed to be personally carried in a letter by the head of the delegation. So that will be very useful for us to know, and we will make sure that you know it the moment we know it, and it will be available to you when Pepe, another founding member of this show, will be with me tomorrow. So, would you like to comment on that, on these developments, Larry?
Yeah, well, we don't know what the message will be, but to uh, based upon what we've seen so far, it's not Iran is not seeking to surrender. They're not asking Islamabad to get a ceasefire with the United States. They're going. They are going to insist that if they're basically laying it out that uh, this is what the United States needs to do if they want an end to this conflict. This is what they need to do, and these are what we demand. That way, the government of Pakistan and General Munir will be appropriately informed and can then speak authoritatively with Donald Trump and let him know this is what you have to do. Now, I think Trump he's going to probably go through this week continuing to threaten and to call for greater action. But I think a combination of economic conditions and his uh, his political support uh, is going to force him to change. right now he's got the lowest approval rating of any president in the 21st century. It's lower than Obama's. It's lower than George W. Bush's during the when Bush was very unpopular during the war with Iraq. So I think the reality of his poor standing, coupled with I'm sure the military is going to be briefing him that we can't we can't continue firing weapons at these missiles at this rate. We're going to run out, and so I think the combination of those factors will ultimately lead him to a reverse course.
When do you see this happening? And I would like to add one statistics that I read this morning. At the height of American disgrace in Vietnam, when American forces were actually being airlifted out of the rooftop helicopter, the support for war in Vietnam was higher than what it is for the United States war in Iran right now,
Yeah,
which means that the support for Iran war is even less than what it was at the height of the U.S. Uh, decision to get out of Vietnam, which was not good. So with that kind of sentiment in the country, with prices rising and Trump's inability to lie his way out of that, because people will be paying that price at the pump, and everything else will be right, will be getting up in price. No fertilizer. How long do you think he can maintain this? How long do you think the Republicans can support this?
yeah. No, I don't see. Let's assume that it goes on. If it goes on to August, I'll be shocked because just we saw his first tolerance during the first for the war that started on February 28th lasted about 40 days, a little over, uh, not quite, uh, well, a little over 5 weeks. So I think what we're going to see here is um, he is going to be pressing hard to get some reduction, some agreement by Iran to stop the bombings, the attacks on the military bases. I don't think Iran's going to let up. I think they've learned. I think they've learned their lesson in the past. Every time they pull up and give the United States a chance, the United States just uses it to break the rule, the word, and to violate it again. So I think what we're looking at is this is going to be a prolonged conflict until the United States basically is going to be forced to admit that it can't beat Iran.
Well, on that score, Larry, I want to share with our audience, and I have shared this with you earlier. The mood inside the real power center of power in Iran, which is the leader Mushtaba's office, is no concessions, no concessions on Iran's part,
Right.
and demands. It is not that that Trump is not calling Hassan Munir. We know that for a fact. We absolutely know that for a fact uh, from our contacts that Asim Munir has received multiple calls. Please do something. We need to get back to the negotiating table. And Asim Munir has not responded, not said yes, I can make that happen, because Asim Munir is a very, very, very competent character. I do not know what Trump understands of Asim Munir. He's a survivor and he is very capable. So, because I know him personally, I can say that. In any case, his response has been, "We are talking to the Iranians. We are talking to the Iranians. We'll get back to you soon, immediately, as soon as we get word." And the word from Iranians is, "We are not going to let the United States stop, come back again 3 weeks later." I mean, absolutely, I can say that for a fact that that is not going to happen.
Right.
A temporary pause is not going to happen. So that basically means that the United States has to leave the conflict with the tail tucked, behind its back. And
Yeah,
that is what is going to be the legacy of Trump.
yeah, and while I have complete confidence in what you're saying, I simply note that there is another view out there that sees uh, the Pakistanis as more more compliant and more willing to adhere to back the United States than they necessarily are willing to back the Chinese. And so this puts Pakistan in a very delicate situation because of their long-standing relationship with the United States and the intelligence and the CIA that goes back almost 70 years, with now updated with China playing a more important economic and security role with supplying Pakistan with some, fifth generation fighters or the, you know, key also air defense capabilities. So this is, the issue is always a matter of trust, and uh, the ultimate test for Pakistan will be, in the coming couple of days, to see what Pakistan does following the combined attack of Iran and the Houthis on Saudi interests. Uh, this will this may enrage Saudi Arabia, but there's not a lot they can do militarily other than turn to Pakistan and plead for Pakistan to intervene militarily. And I think you and I both agree that that's not a likely possibility.
I assure you, from what we see and what we know and what we observe almost hour to hour, it is not going to happen. Pakistan is not going to attack Saudi Arabia. Pakistan is not going to attack Iran. It's not going to happen. And I can say this as categorically as I can possibly say it. What you are saying about the U.S. Pakistan relationship held true until the most recent Afghanistan disaster. And I personally know a lot of very, very high ranking people in the Pakistani forces, personal relationships. The mood in that circle, and they are the ones who actually control Pakistan in every respect, is that they are not going to do a thing, not a thing that will upset China. Not a thing. It doesn't matter what their personal relationship might have been, years ago or even recently. China is the power behind everything that is happening in that part of the world, and actually everything happening in that region. Pakistan will do what China wants it to do. And we reported this on our channel that only 2 days ago, Ishaq Dar spent 2 days in China meeting with Wang Yi and other leadership. And he has a clear mandate from Wang Yi. There is a script that they are following. China is not that anxious for this war to end tomorrow. I mean, this is something we maybe should have made very clear. They are very happy to see the United States get its ass kicked. I
Right.
mean, they're very happy to see that. While they are, of course, interested in the United States leaving soon, perhaps again, as we just characterize it, with a tail tucked behind its back. But they are happy to see it deplete its resources. They are happy to see, get humiliated. They're happy to see all of that stuff happening. So Pakistan will do nothing. I mean, I can say that categorically. Absolutely nothing that China does not want Pakistan to do. I mean, this is a bold statement, but I feel so confident about it. That's the reason I'm saying that. So even though you may have heard it, and even though it may have been true even months ago, and maybe some factions are still, having a soft corner in their heart for the U.S., but that is not, that's not the group that is running the country.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's the latest where we're at then.
it is the latest. We will bring you even more developments as and when they occur, and they're going to occur by the hour, because with the team that is representing the leader Moshtaba in Islamabad, They are the ones who are going to make the decisions, and the decisions are not going to be easy ones for the United States or for the Western countries. And we can say this on our channel with a degree of certainty that the hegemony of the United States is in decline and is going to end. I mean, this is a bold statement. I understand it's a bold statement, and I take responsibility for making that statement. I believe that my colleague shares that sentiment, and this is why we started this channel. So please, if you have not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button. If you want all of this to be delivered to your inbox, become a paid member at the very low rate of half of what you pay for a cup of coffee. Go to Substack and subscribe, become a paid member. If you want this to be something that you get for a year, just pay $50, and we will keep bringing this to you. So we will be back again tomorrow with Pepe, and back again on Wednesday with all three of us. Thank you very much for being our audiences. Thank you very much for giving us the fantastic growth that we have seen. That means that there is a hunger for truth. Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Thank you.